Hi guys, in this video we will look at how you can have images of different aspect ratio and different dimensions and still make them look equally sized in a grid layout or a photo gallery layout. So let's get started. I'm going to show you what I have here in CodePen. I have a div of class container, and first of all I think I'm going to remove what I have here. And right, so you can see how big the images are. What I have is a div with a class container, and then in each grid item, each of them have an image, license-free images of cats. So I have one first image here, one second one, and they are having different sizes. So this one, for instance, especially, is very large. I can scroll down horizontally, and then I have this one as well. This one is actually portraits. So I believe if I can open it in a new tab, you can see it's a portrait image. And this one is a larger image, probably landscape, something like that. So these are the sort of images that I have, and then I have them all here. So now I'm going to read you what I did, and we're going to achieve the same layouts as what you saw in the beginning of this video. And we're going to focus on one CSS property, which is called object fits. Okay, so first I'm going to define my grid. So container, and then I'm going to have display grids. Now what I'm trying to achieve here is a photo gallery layout. So I'm not going to have a template defined for my rows, but I'm only going to have it for my columns. So grid templates columns, and I'm going to have repeats. If you don't know what the repeat function does, I have a tutorial on that on this channel. And then I'm going to have grids, auto rows, and I'm going to use the min max function. I'm going to use 30 VW and then 160 pixels here. If you don't know again what the min max function is, I have a full tutorial on that. So I'll try and link them in the description of this video. I'm going to add grids gap, and I'm going to set the grid gap to 0.5 em. Let me scroll up. What do we have? And we can see that we still don't have our grid layouts, despite the fact that I actually I defined my grid here, and because I said 1FR 3 times, I'm expecting to have 3 columns here, which is not what I see. Or the columns are very large. Now why is that? That is because of the dimensions of our images. So I can simply have all images should have a height of 100%. All right, there we have it. And then I can say they should have a width of 100%. And now we have our grid layouts, but we have a problem here. If we look closely at what we have, the images are stretched. This one is stretched horizontally, this one is stretched vertically. It doesn't look good. Now imagine that you have a photo gallery platform and you expect your users to add their photos. I know that you can have some client sides or server side checking to ensure that their aspect ratio matches your requirements, but in some cases you will allow a wide ranges of aspect ratio. You would simply define or set some rules for maximum dimensions or file size. So if a user uploads an image in portrait mode, maybe that's how they shot it on their smartphone, and another user uploads an image in landscape orientation, how are you going to make sure that all of them appear in equally sized cells in your photo gallery layouts? And you don't want to stretch them because that affects image quality, obviously. So that is when we have to use, you don't have to, but it's very highly recommended that you use the object fits property. Now the object fit property does a number of things. It comes with a set of values, valid values. So the first one, I could have none. What none does is it doesn't resize the image. You can see how large our images were. It simply takes them and tries to fit them inside our grid item, the dimensions or the content box of these items here. So I don't think you would be using that often. Another one is fill. So what fill does is pretty much like what we had in the beginning. it maintains the dimension of this content box for the grid items, and it tries to make the images fill the full item. So what happens obviously is stretching. It has to stretch them horizontally or vertically. However, it has to, you know, expand the images to make them fill the whole space of every grid item. I don't think you'll be wanting that either. Another thing is contain. So you can use contain, and what contain does is it maintains the aspect ratio and simply tries to fit the images within the grid items. Now remember, if I open that image in a new tab, it is that huge image that you see here. It has simply been scaled down to fit into the grid items here. So there is no stretching now, but notice that we have a lot of gaps, a lot of empty spaces around the images, and that's not a proper photo gallery layout. What we want to use here is this value, cover. So cover, you might remember this keyword from previous videos I made where I used a backgrounds. You can also use this value for your backgrounds, but here the cover means maintain the aspect ratio but clip the images, you know, as necessary to make them fit into the grid items. So again, I'm going to check this one here. Notice that here you can see that the image of the cats, you have space here at the top, and then it goes all the way down. You can almost see the rest of its body here, but here it's clipped or cropped if you want at its ears. Another example would be that image. So that image of the cats, you can see its full ear here, and then you have some whites, the white background here. If I go here, we check back in the gallery, the ear is being cropped out, and the same thing applies to the rest of our images. So I believe this one as well. You can see the full cats with the rest of the floor in the background, but if you check the gallery here, the cat is being cropped out. So this ensures that all images appear in the proper aspect ratio without being stretched, but at the same time they're going to fit in the content box, or in our case they're going to match the dimensions of our grid items. So that's a very powerful CSS property, object fits. So make sure to use the object fits CSS property in your grid layouts, or if you have a photo gallery here, then you can just use that to better control how your images appear in your layouts. I also just wanted to add that it doesn't have any issue with responsiveness, the object fit CSS property. So it's very useful for fluid and responsive layouts. So anyway, that's it. If you like this video, please make sure you subscribe, turn on your notifications, leave your comments if you have any questions or anything to say, and give this video a thumbs up. I will see you in the next tutorial. Bye.